to TMX Adventures. My name is Lisa Keegan, and this week we are doing all things Varoma. Varoma is one of those things that I know some of you guys, and we've spoke about it other days, have left in the back of the cupboard. So it's time to get it out and use it, because it's a great accessory that comes with your Thermomix that gives you more capacity and more options of what else you can make. Now today I'm going to do an absolute classic using the Varoma, and it's yogurt. Okay, if you are buying yogurt, this is one of the very best ways to save money with a Thermomix. Today we're going to make a fruit yogurt. If you want the recipe for this with my shortcuts, jump over to my website. You can see the QR code there to scan. It will land you on my website. On the front cover of my website, there is a little mobile phone image, and it has a downloadable in it. You can see it there for the yogurt recipe. Click on it, it will open, you can save it, print it, do what you like. If you can't find it there, or maybe you're seeking one from another time, maybe previously, at the top you'll find a Learn More tab on my website, and it's got all the resources that I've ever put out on offer for you guys to download. You can go there and do that. But remember to subscribe over there as well, so you get the latest news from me every week or so when I send a newsletter out. Right, let's get on to this. Yogurt is quick. This is got some patterns of being able to remember it, which I really like, and I want to share with you today. I'm a person who I like things that have patterns, and this has a pattern. First thing we're going to do is we're adding in full cream, long life milk, okay? Light milk doesn't work. We need the fats in there, it needs to thicken. By using long life, we skip a step in our other recipes where we normally have to heat it to 90 degrees and then let it come back down. The heating process kills the bacteria that will otherwise, I guess, argue with the cultures in yogurt, for no better word. So this has already been cooked for us. So all we have to do is get it to 37 degrees, that nice body temperature, that temperature of body temperature, that makes sense, you know what I mean, to make it start culturing, okay? Now it is cold at the moment here where I am, and maybe it is where you are as well. Now the TM6 has a fermenting mode. We'll talk about that soon, and we're going to ferment in the Varoma. But if it is cold at your house and you don't have a TM6, you've got a TM31 or a TM5, you can still make this. You just need to find somewhere warm to put this in for 8 hours. So it might be that you put it in a pre-warm thermoserver, and it goes in the boot of your car, if that's the warmest place in your house. It might be that you put it in the oven with the light element on, not the element like cooking, but you know how you can turn the light on and it just puts a residue heat? Something like that. Have you got a space in a place that's a little warm? I know behind our fridge on the top there is really super warm. Somewhere like that might be the place for you. It just needs to hold that temperature overnight for 8 hours. So that's one. Okay, next thing you'll find is 50 grams. Now everything's here done in 50 grams. We need 50 grams of a previous batch of yogurt. Now the only thing here, I always keep a little bit of my previous, which makes it really easy, but the only thing to know is if you're buying one to start off with for that very first time, pick one that's a pot set yogurt. Okay, it means it hasn't been thickened artificially to make it thicken up, so it means it'll be good. So 50 grams of that, although 65 today, but you guys know I don't get hung up on that stuff. 50 grams of milk powder. This gives you that really thick milk, thick yogurt. Okay, it gives you thick milk too if you add it to milk. But no, we're going for the thickening of the yogurt. There we go, that's in. Now we want to add some vanilla, because I like vanilla. Just a little bit, not too much. This is vanilla paste. And then that's it. 4 ingredients, 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, 4 ingredients. 1,000 or 1 litre worth of milk, but it's long life, so it's already heat treated. Okay, so now it can work magic. 50 grams of culture, so 50 grams of your yogurt, 50 grams of a thickener. Oh, you can add sugar. If you want sugar, up to 50 grams. I'm going to skip it. It is up the back there. You can do it, and it's actually recommended every second or third batch to make sure you add sugar, because our bacteria in yogurt, our good cultures, like to feed on sugar. So if you neglect it too many times of sugar, it gets super duper tart, and it also takes longer to do that culturing process because it's got less to feed on. It's got less to multiply with. So we've got that all in there, lid on, measuring cup in place, and we're going to heat that up to 37 degrees. We need to start that process off, especially, well, you've got to mix it through too, but I was going to say especially here where it's super cold at the moment. So we're just going to put 10 minutes on the timer, and the beauty of Thermomix is we walk away, 37 degrees and up to a slow stir, speed 1. Now, while that's happening, if you want a flavoured one like I do, where I'm going to actually be putting it with jam, You'll need something to incubate it in, and then obviously something to, well, you want something to put the jam in, right? So I've got jars. You might use one large container, so say a 1.2 litre Pyrex dish. You can use your white thermoserver from the Thermomix mix shop. If that's not available, we can do a demo to get you one. But all I've done here is I've taken a tablespoon of jam, homemade jam, beautifully done, strawberries from down the road, and I've put that into 5 of these little containers, and I don't know what, they're not Kmart or anything, I don't know where they're from, they're in my drawer, they've been there a while, and these are going to hold my yogurt, but importantly, I have this little one with no jam, and this is my next batch starter. So this is the one that will sit in the fridge, no one will eat this, and it becomes my starter for my next batch of yogurt. So while you've got your 10 minutes of this getting up to 37 degrees to start that culturing process, if you want flavouring, now's the time to put it in your jars, okay? So otherwise, I'll come back in 10 minutes and I'll show you this next step to finish off this. See you soon. Okay, welcome back. It's been 10 minutes. You can see it's 37 degrees. However, usually at this stage, I do not find the milk powder has dissolved in, nor has if we've done the vanilla and stuff. So let's have a squeeze today and see. Yep, that's what I would expect. So now what we do, and it's fine that it's been dancing around on top because some of it will have started falling into it. Some of that yogurt, the cultures have gone in, but that milk powder still remains. So all we're going to do now is we're going to turn it up to speed 4, and it won't take long. I might put the measuring cup in. I was hoping to show you, but it's going to make a mess. 5 seconds on speed 4, and all that does is quite gently pulls that all in together. We would not want to do that heat up step that fast, okay? Cultures are a bit delicate, okay? But 5 seconds speed 4 is all it takes to spread that in, spread that through, and now it's ready to go. So all we're going to do now is grab our Varoma. Now something to be mindful of, a couple of tips here. If you have a TM31, your Varoma is a little bit shorter, okay? Your jars will need to be a little bit different to these, or you'll need to use something like a low set Pyrex dish. So anything that fits in here will work though. Make sure your lid fits on because you do need your Varoma lid to fit on. Although in saying that, TM31 owners, you're going to struggle anyway because your Thermomix won't hold temp for that long. You've only got an hour on there, so wasn't kind of relevant. Sorry about that. But mindful with all these recipes with Varoma, you do have that little bit less to work with. So we're just going to now carefully pour these in. This will be ready to go. Really at this stage, I don't know if you guys can see, but it looks like a milk. Like it just looks like I'm pouring a milkshake style thing in. It's nothing too exciting. It's got the black flecks from the vanilla, and that's about it. Oh, put some in the middle one. I always tend to miss the middle one. I spill it everywhere. Now we are going to cover these because they do need to make sure the moisture doesn't drip back into them. We can take these quite high as well, talking about covering and stuff. We can go quite up into the spouts. They're not like other ferments that actually bubble and gas in there and carry on. This doesn't, so it's okay to go quite high. Now normally I'd say rinse this out, however it doesn't particularly matter. So all we're going to do now is we're going to put into this, I would actually like to rinse it out to be honest, but, well actually I will. I'm going to pause, I'm going to go rinse, and I'll be back to show you how we fermented a TM6, and I'll give you some more tips for those of you with a TM31. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, I'm back. It's rinsed. All that I find is if you sit that for 8 hours in there and it's got that residue sitting in there, you end up with a really big mess tomorrow to clean up. And where I can save on cleaning up, the better, if it's an easy as a rinse. So just rinsing that out makes it easier. So now we're putting in a cup of water, which is 250 grams. We're going to put in up to 50 grams. I think originally the recipes fermenting talk about lemon juice and about 35 grams of lemon. I use vinegar. Vinegar's cheaper in my world than lemon. But what we're doing there is we're actually protecting the blades from rust. Because this is holding a low temp for a long time, that's what can actually cause rust on anything that's a metal type product. Our blades here are high grade stainless steel, made in a little place called Soligen with Soligen steel, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it is a steel product, so you know if it's not treated the right way, it does have that risk. Now I'm just putting on these lids. I'm not going to go really tight, although that doesn't really matter. These are not getting hot, so the bottom temperature in this is going to be 70 degrees. However, these themselves are actually not going to get that hot. They're only going to be sitting around that 37 degrees, body heat, the perfect temperature for fermenting, for those of you who have watched me with my fermenting before. So there we go, there are my 6 little vessels ready to go. So excited. And now all we do to use our Varoma, and you've seen this other days, is we take out the top and we put our Varoma in place. And I am going to move my camera sideways so I can do that. In goes this. Now we obviously are not using the tray today. Excuse me while I wiggle this around. Yeah, there we go. Just putting the lid on like that. Make sure the lid can pop down, and now we're ready to go. So we've got on here our fermenting mode. Now TM31, TM5 owners. Wrap it in a towel, find that warm spot. I talked about it earlier, okay? If it doesn't ferment, it's not the end of the world. You can use it for yogurt. You can actually put it for longer. So if it's started but it's not gone fully fermented, if it hasn't soured yet, you can actually continue the fermenting process. So wrap it back up, find a warm spot, okay? It does need 8 hours at a warm body temperature space, like it really does. I even find with my other things I ferment, my sauerkrauts and things like that, they need that warm space. I've even got now an electric blanket that I can actually use if needed with those to just get them going, because even they will be tended to go to mold because they can't actually ferment, which is quite an interesting process, you know, to think that they're so cold that they can't start that culturing process. So here we go. Fermenting though with the TM6 is easy because it's built in. So it's got 8 hours, 70 degrees. Now this is getting to 70. This is not. I've had quite a few people over the time reach out because they tried to then do the yogurt in the bowl. It doesn't work at 70 degrees, okay? It has to be down at 37 degrees. And that's how that has to work, because otherwise it's just too hot for those poor cultures. It just cooks them. They die over 40 degrees. That's why if you're doing the long school one where you got to heat your milk up and it has to cool again, has to get back down to 40 degrees before you add something to it. So by the time you add the milk powder and the cultures, it drops down to 37. Hope that makes sense. But anyway, we are on about Varoma. So we're going to finish off this Varoma ring now, where we actually just spin the dial and we let it do its thing. So the Varoma in this case is used for incubation. You can also use it for fast tracking your pizza doughs so that they ferment faster. So lots of ways to use this Varoma. But anyway, I hope you're using your Varoma. I hope you're getting inspired this week to get more use out of your Varoma. I will share a picture at the end of my amazing, thick and beautiful creamy vanilla and jam yogurt. And I'd love to know if you make yogurt. If you do, comment below. I'd love to know if there's a recipe you follow. Is there some, you know, are you just winging it? Do you still use an easy yo or something else? How do you do yogurt in your household? And if you're buying it, here's your challenge to now start making it. Okay, if you want the shortcut, buy that long life milk so that you don't have to wait the couple of hours while it heats up, and then the long part is waiting for it to come back down in temperature. But otherwise, guys, thanks for joining me today. Continue to watch on, continue to get inspired, continue to share this with your friends and family who have a Thermomix, or maybe they need a Thermomix in their life so that they can find easier ways of doing food. But take care, and I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video soon. Bye for now.